Good morning, family. So today kicks off a 3-day weekend for yours truly. Yay! Yeah, 3-day weekend, using some vacation, so I'll get paid for it too. That's nice. So today we're gonna do a little chilling, a little unwinding. I'm gonna smoke a cigar. I'm gonna drink a couple beers, and yeah, we're gonna relax a little bit. Watch a little Longmire. That's my new show I've been watching on Netflix. If you haven't checked it out yet, I suggest it. It's kind of like a Western, kind of Sherlock Holmes Western kind of thing. Present day Western, no, not like spaghetti Western. But so anyway, without further ado, today's cigar is going to be the Macanudo Crû Royale. I think I pronounced that right anyway. The Macanudo Crû Royale. Picked this up in a, I believe it was a $25 sample pack from Wild Bill's here in Jenison, Michigan. And figured we'll give it a shot. So let's see what we got here. The wrapper, it's been around for a while. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but this wrapper is it's a little dingy looking, family. It's a little yellow. So that tells me it's been in the wrapper for a while. A little bit of a mustiness. Slightly barnyard. Like a sweet tobacco on the foot there. So it's a pretty nice looking wrapper. It's pretty veiny. You can see a seam or two, but for the most part they blend in. It's a pretty nice cap on it. It's not like super sloppy or anything. It's a pretty nice looking cigar. I like the band. Just like that, kind of like that, it's not really a royal blue, I guess, but I like that blue on there. It's pretty cool. I like that. It's fancy. So yeah, semi-firm roll. A little bit of squish to it, not too much though. All right, well, we'll cut her up and see what we got going on. I'm gonna use my big old Vertigo cutter today. This goes up to an 80 ring gauge. It's a big cutter, family. Oh, and before I cut this, so what I've been trying the last couple times here, I was watching Brother Lee Mac's video the other day, and he was saying, I forget who it was that he said, but one of the cigar company owners, whatever you want to call them, said that instead of cutting a cigar, you know, like all the way across, like I would normally do, like most people would probably normally do, you're supposed to cut it at the top. So you're supposed to like snip like this top corner of the cap off. And I guess what that does is, instead of when you draw, instead of the smoke hitting just your tongue, so it's getting your tongue palate, it actually forces it to the roof of your mouth, and then it settles on the palate. So it's supposed to make it, it's supposed to make the draw better and make the flavor set a little better on you. So that's how we're going to cut this one, and we'll see if that's true or not. The only thing I do notice about that is it makes the draw a little bit tighter, but we can always modify that later if we have to. Matter of fact, I'm going to take just a little bit more off of here. There we go. That's better. Yeah, it's about a medium draw. It's not super firm, not super light. So let me see if I can get this camera to focus real quick on this tip, so I can show you what I'm talking about. So you see this? This is like looking at it from the front. See how I kind of clip the edge of the cap and then down onto the back side here. I don't know if it's going to focus or not. Come on. Focus. Focus! Anyway, you get the point, right? So you see how that's kind of... So when I draw, it'll be like this in my mouth. So this whole thing here will force it to the roof of my mouth instead of straight back onto my tongue. So we'll see how that works. A little bit of pepper on the lips just from the cold draw. Not really much of a flavor though on the cold draw. It's kind of like a light sweet tobacco. A little bit of like a earthiness or like a damp basement kind of flavor. It's kind of weird. Different. I don't know. Anyway, so let's get this lit up and see what she has to offer. See if my lighter works today. I got this this one jet torch lighter. I kind of like it, but sometimes the nozzle gets a little gummed up and it needs a good cleaning. So see how this works. Something else that we're going to do today, I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my videos before or not, but when we light, I'll kind of show you, and I'll kind of tell you as I'm showing you here. So we're going to keep it just a single jet flame a little ways away from the cigar here, and I'm just basically heating up the edge of the wrapper, and I guess what that does is it fuses your wrapper to your binder via the heat, and it actually makes your cigar burn a lot smoother. There's another little video I saw, and I believe it was Cigar Advisor, and I think it was Nick Perdomo who did the video, if I'm not mistaken. You're probably thinking, well, geez, how many times are you going to go around? Well, the idea behind keeping the lighter this far away and whatnot is that you're not burning the wrapper, you're just heating it up. And you probably can't see it on camera, but when I look at the edge of my cigar here, I can see like those, I call them heat lines, but kind of like a waviness, you know what I'm saying? Like in the air. That tells me that the heat's getting to it. You don't want to burn it because then you're going to take away from the flavor. You just want to get it hot enough to fuse that wrapper and the binder together. So once I do that a couple times here, we're going to go ahead and toast the end. Same deal, especially with this single jet, you don't have to get like super close because it's kind of focused in one area. I used to use a quad jet or even a triple jet, and I've found that even with some of the bigger cigars sometimes that's a little too much, so I've gone back to just the single flame. Yes, it takes longer, but it's worth it in the long run, trust me. Well, good smoke output, we know that much. It's got a heavy tobacco core. And there it is, family. Nice and even for now. Like I said, it's got a... definitely has a tobacco core. It's not super harsh on the retrohale. It's got like a oily... It's got like a mild oily pepper to it. It's kind of coating the top of my mouth. I can tell you right off the bat, even though we just lit it, I'm not digging the flavor too much. It's kind of weird. It's got like it's got like that weird oily, light pepperiness to it, and then you've got like something that's like trying to be a sweet tobacco, but it's just like really earthy. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. So anyway, family, it's been a long week. Working a lot of hours lately. Every day feels like a Monday when you work 7 days a week. That's why you gotta have time to unwind. So we're gonna drink a few beers. Not necessarily my beer of choice, but it was available and it was close at the truck stop down yonder. So today we're gonna be drinking a couple Michelob Ultras. Yeah, no, whatever. Cheap beer. But it quenches the thirst, and it's only a measly 4.2% alcohol, so I'm not gonna get trashed off of a couple of those. So if I was drinking my favorite, Oberon, those are like 6-7%ers. A couple of them I'd be feeling pretty damn good. There's almost like a Lord, family, there's a flavor in there I can't quite put my finger on. It's almost like I want to say graphite, but it's not as minerally. It's almost like a paper and graphite kind of mix. Or like a light charred paper. Like the smell of, think about the smell of like burning notebook paper. It's kind of what this flavor reminds me of. It's kind of weird. Never had that before. I don't know. Still not digging the flavor too much, family, but we're only that far in, so we'll give it a shot. Okay, we'll give it a shot. Anyway, I'm gonna smoke on this a little bit, drink a little more of this Michelob, and I'll be back. Hold tight, family. All right, family. So we're about we're about an inch in. Can't really tell. The ash already fell off. I do want to see if I might be able to fish that out of there. Barely. Oh, it's almost falling apart. It looked compact, but it's actually pretty flaky. Yeah. So it was looking kind of compact. All I really did was set it down to rest, and it just plopped right off the end. So yeah. So not super compact. We don't have like too much of a cone going on here, so that right there leads me to believe that this is not high-end quality tobacco. But I did do some homework on it for you, so let me get out my fancy dancy note card here. Yeah, family, I got a scratch off. Is a loser though. Usually is. I don't have very good luck with these things. Anyway, so the Crû Royale from Macanudo was introduced in 2010. It was made to fill a hole in the Macanudo line of cigars, apparently. So, fun fact, they used to be, all Macanudos used to be made in Jamaica, but due to poor weather and whatnot, they moved their operation to the Dominican Republic. So these are now from the Dominican Republic. This particular one, the Crû Royale, has an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, which might give me a little hint as to why I don't really care for the flavor. Like I've previously stated, Habano wrappers are usually a hit or miss for me. Usually they're really good or kind of eh, and this one's kind of eh. The binder is a Dominican Republic binder, and then the filler is a mashup of Brazilian, Dominican Republic, and Nicaraguan. So it's got a little bit of strength. This one is supposed to be a medium strength cigar. I believe that. It's not like pow in your face, and it's not really creeping on you. It's just kind of, blah. It's kind of whatever. Quick shout out to Mark Hyacinth and Brother Lee Mac over at the Meet in the Middle show. If you guys haven't checked them out, you can either look them up on YouTube, Meet in the Middle Cigar Show, or you can go to irobusto.com, Meet in the Middle show as well, and check out their stuff. I like their videos. It kind of gives you 3 different perspectives on the same cigar, and you know, sometimes that's what you need. For instance, I know they like to talk about the cigar aficionado lists, and excuse me, this particular cigar back in 2013 got a 91 on the cigar aficionados list. For those of you who don't know too much about the cigar aficionado, their ratings go out of 100, so a 91 out of 100 basically is what it got. Honestly, I wouldn't say that this is a 91 out of 100. I'd put it at like a 50 at this moment. But that seems to be the general consensus as far as Mark Hyacinth and Lee Mac are considering when it comes to the cigar aficionado list. Some of their highest rating cigars, you know, you smoke them and you're like, what in the hell were they tasting? You know, what were they thinking? Was it something special? I don't know. But so yeah. So this was high on the aficionado list, not so high, I'm afraid, on the Big T list, as far as I'm concerned. So, a little note about the binder that I found. So this Dominican Republic binder is, it's called La Vega Especial, which I guess means the special farm in Spanish. So I'm guessing there's something special about it. I'm not tasting anything too special about it. So this, from what I can deduce, is a 5x50 Robusto. They run about they run about $158 for a 20 count box. Do the math, that's about $7.90 each. If I do the math, for my price, I believe it was either a $25 or a $30 bundle that I paid, and I got, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cigars, I think it was. So that brings it down to like $4 or $5 a cigar. That's not bad, I guess. $5 ain't gonna make me or break me, but it lets me make a video and gives me something to smoke, I suppose. So like I said, family, I'm not, I don't know, flavor wise I'm not enjoying this one, but it's good just to be off of work having a cigar and a beer, I'll put it that way. I have had to touch it up a little bit. As you can see, even now that the ash is falling off, we got a little bit of a, whatever you want to call it, going on here. So let's even that up just a little bit. And this is about the time that my lighter starts acting up, is when I need it most. So before, for those of you who may have either seen it on some of my videos or on Brother Lee Mac's videos, we talk about shoe shine. Shoe shine is something that they kind of paint onto the wrapper to make it have a darker appearance. So like this is what I would consider to be a darker darker Habano wrapper. And I don't know if the camera's gonna focus for you. You can kind of see that, there you go, the distinction between the light and the dark right there. You see the darkness, and then where the heat has hit the wrapper there, you can see that little bit of a light patch just after the mascara line. That is shoe shine, my friends. That gives you the distinction. So that means that after the cigar was rolled, they brushed on some sort of, I don't know if it's like a stain or what you want to call it, but something to give the appearance of the wrapper a darker color. Still got pretty good smoke output. Not super harsh on the retro at all, really. This is the first cigar I've had in a long time that hasn't been at least mildly harsh on the retrohale. Like I said, flavor-wise, it's meh. Kind of earthy. A little bit of a sweet note in there, like a sweet tobacco note. And that's about it, folks. That's the sum of it all. That's about it. The way I've cut this, let me see if I can get that to zoom in one more time. I'm gonna focus. I don't know if you can tell or not, but the way I cut this, so I'm drawing from this end being up. It is hitting the roof of my mouth before landing on the tongue palate, so that's helping a little bit. I think if I was contemplating on cutting more of the cap off here like I would normally do straight across, but I'm afraid that might intense the, not harshness of the flavor, but the lack thereof, I guess. In any case, with it cut the way it is, we're still getting good smoke output, so that's what really counts. So yeah, that's about all I dug up on it. I do still like the band, though. The band's got, it's a pretty nice band. It's a pretty nice band. I like that band. The blue, I think that's the key. Blue is actually my favorite color, and I think anything with like that electric or royal kind of blue to it kind of catches my eye. I kind of like that. It's interesting. So yeah, this is the second Macanudo I've ever tried. The first one was like a little short Corona. I don't even remember what it was called. It came in the same pack as this one. That one was okay. Not like wow, but you know, it got the job done, I guess. So, feel free to leave comments if you've tried a Macanudo. Let me know what you thought and what kind it was, especially if it was one that you liked. I'm always looking for new stuff to try. So, if you guys have anything that you would like me to try and maybe make a review on, throw it in the comments section. I'll get it on here for you. So, anyway, you're about an inch and a half in on a Robusto. I said it was a 5x50, so that means we got about 4 inches left. It's about the size of a nub. It's a little bit longer than the nub right now, actually. So, I was trying to deduce if this was a 5x50 or a 6x60. It doesn't quite look like a 60 ring gauge to me, so I'm going to say it's a 5x50. And it wasn't quite 6 inches long either, so. But then again, maybe it's somewhere in between. Who knows? It's just kind of blah, family. And I'm glad I got some beer to drink as well. If you're going to try one of these, I suggest getting anything to drink. It doesn't matter if it's just water, because it is a very dry cigar. Even as I speak, I can feel like the roof, see, I can't even talk, it's so dry. The roof of my mouth is starting to dry out a little bit, and that's where this comes in handy. Yeah. Although I don't know if I would go with Michelob. Maybe next time I do a dry cigar, I might try something else. The Michelob, They have a cactus lime that was actually pretty good. It's a little sweet for my taste, but it was pretty good. I've never actually drank a whole lot of Michelob Ultra, maybe one here or there. It's kind of a dry beer too, to be honest with you. I'd actually probably prefer PBR over the Michelob. So, and that's what I was looking for. It's what I got the last time I was there. They didn't have it this time, of course. That's what I get for going to the truck stop, so liquor store. Alright, family. I'm going to smoke on this a little bit more, and I'll be back, guys. I'll be back. Hold tight. Alright, guys. So, I did end up cutting the end more. Let's see. So I did end up cutting a little more there. Wow, and this, you can see what I talk about with this ash. Look at this. Can you see that? See it? It's just like flaking everywhere, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna tip that off real quick before it falls in my lap. So the ash is really flowery, really flaky. Shoe shine like we discussed before. And the no cone tells me it's not high grade tobacco. However, the thinness of the mascara line, that black ring that runs around the foot there, the mascara line, the thinness of that leads me to believe that it is aged longer than most cheap cigars. So at least it's got that going for it. As far as the flavor goes, it started off a little bit better once I clipped the end a little bit more, but it's graduating towards not so good. It's got somewhat of like a bitter note to it now. Still very earthy, and not in a good way. It's just kind of blah, guys. It's just kind of blah. If you're a firm believer in the Cigar Aficionado list, I would suggest you try it, because they gave it a 91. So if you fancy their kind of cigars, this might be it. But it's definitely not my kind of cigar. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I want to set it down bad, but it just doesn't have much to offer, folks. Earthy and not super strong flavor wise. Strength wise, I would say it said it was a medium strength. I'd give it medium. It's the strength's starting to creep up there just a little bit towards the end. Smoke output's still good, but the flavor is just not there, guys. The flavor is just not there. So, on that note, let me get my numbers prepared for you, and I'll be back. Hold on, guys. Alright, family, so not very high ratings here. So for the construction, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 for construction. Pretty average. As far as the rolling goes, I would say that it was rolled well. The cap was nice, but I had to touch it up a few times, so the burn was kind of so-so. So 3 for the construction. As far as the price goes, I'm going to base it on my price, what I paid for it. I'm going to give it a 4 for the price, because at $4 to $5 a stick, that's about what I would expect for a $5 cigar. As far as the flavor goes, I'm going to give it a 1. Like I said, it doesn't have much of a flavor to it at all, really, other than tobacco earthiness and that bitter note that I'm getting now. And then for complexity, we're going to give it a 2, simply because the flavor did change, although it might not have been a good change, it did change. So it does have some complexity to it, but not much. So add that all up, do the math, that gives us a 1.8, a 1.8 out of 5. Not making the top of the list, folks, I'm going to tell you that much. One thing I did want to talk about real quick, though. I did say that I like the band. Now that I've taken the band off and inspected it a little bit more, you can kind of see what I'm talking about with that blue. That's a nice blue. I like that. Something about the blue and silver kind of catches my eye. It's a nice band. Very minimal glue on there, too. There wasn't a whole lot of glue holding it on. So, Mark, this one's for you. Oh, sorry, you couldn't quite see that. Yeah, we'll just throw that one. Nice band, cigar, not that great of a cigar. So anyway, there is my thoughts on the Macanudo Crû Royale. Feel free to try it if you like to. Like I said, if you're right there with a cigar aficionados list, you might like it, but not my cup of tea, folks. Not my cup of tea. Probably gonna set it down, actually. Anyway, I'm going to get on out of here. I hope everybody's having a good day. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, you got to tell yourself, today is going to be another great day. Why? Because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. Just ask Brother Lee Mac, he'll tell you. Every day is a great day, as long as you make it a great day. Alright, family. This is Big T. Not my cup of tea. Have a good day, guys. Take it easy.